Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and it's been a while since I've done a custom showcase, and that's exactly what I'm bringing you today. This is where I've been, this is what I've been doing, this is what I've been working on. I am super stoked about how all of these guys have come out. But yeah, I don't know what else to say, except for, like I always say, let's dig into it. And on this one, guys, to be honest, this is going to be a bit of a long one, so get some popcorn or soda, whatever, sit back, prop your feet up, relax, and let's go. Now, before we dig into the big man himself, we're going to take a look at the Metro Squad, because what is Metrotitan without Metro Squad, okay? So, I did all 4 of his team members. We've got Metro Dash, Metro Bomb, Metro Shot, Metro Tank. Now, before I dig into Metro Tank, I'm just going to go through everything on what I did, how I did it. But Metro Tank is complete artist interpretation. Because the original figure, it's Slammer. Everyone knows the original Slammer did not transform. But yeah, speaking of transformations, all these guys are still transformable 100%. So, let's dive into it. And I think I'm going to start off with Metro Bomb here. Metro Bomb was a real simple, easy custom to make. If you guys... I'm sure you guys have seen this before. This guy is part of the Amazon MicroMaster. I think it was a 6-pack, if I remember right. The orange is straight plastic. There is very little repainting going on here. Just a bunch of, I guess, resculpting, I guess you could say, what I did, or movement of parts. So what I did was I painted the entire section black, and painted the face the orange color. And since the original Metro Bomb figure had an all-orange face, that's what I decided to do here. The spoiler right here is painted black, the same black as of right here. Now, what I did to make this guy, if you guys look at the original figure, the back part of his car right here is up on his shoulders. So what I did, I simply cut it off and then glued it onto the back part of it to give him that Metro Bomb silhouette. Like I said, he's still fully transformable, but the downside is that his car mode, the front part of it, doesn't clip in, but he still holds his car mode very, very well and still rolls like a champ. So, bam, still rolls like a champ. But yeah, that's all I did here. Really simple, easy figure to make. So if you guys want to do a Metro Bomb, this took maybe 30 minutes to do, from, you know, repositioning the parts and gluing them in place and painting him, clear coat, all that stuff. Now, the paint that I used on all these guys, I will go over later. Just as like as a whole, I will show you everything that I used, but I will show you what I used on the individual bots as well. So to paint this black, all I did was the Army Painter's War Paint black, and I did a white primer before that. Very simple figure to do. And then right here, the black is just simply brushed on, thinned out and brushed on. That's it for Metro Bomb here. But yeah, set him off to the side, and we're going to take a look at my favorite of the Metro Squad, the one that I think, truthfully, came out the best, and my favorite out of the ones that I did, or out of the Metro Squad members, the one that I did is Metro Dash here. I absolutely love how he came out. Now, this guy is a Combiner Wars Rodimus, and all I did was make a faceplate for him out of polystyrene. Very, very thin polystyrene. Very bendable, flexible polystyrene. Real simple thing to make. And then I sanded down the crown right there and just took them completely apart and painted them up. Really easy thing to do. The centerpiece right here, the center torso area, is painted black. He is a full repaint, so I will be very gentle with these last three guys going forward. I don't want to ding up the paint or anything. But yeah, full repaint. The original figure looks exactly like this. It's all red, red face, black arms. No real big difference in the color scheme here. I was originally thinking about maybe adding some black on the knee pads or down on the feet or something like that, but I decided not to and went with this. Ball joints right back here and on the arms are still unpainted because paint rub is a big thing. So, but yeah, don't know what else to say except for, yeah, I love how he came out. Now, the color that I used on him is Warhammer's Pure Red. All of this stuff is airbrushed on, but yeah, this is a pure red. Very bright, very vibrant red. Absolutely love that red. And then the black, again, airbrushed on right there. And I primed all of the parts in white. So if anything that you see on him that's red is primed in white, very light coat of primer. And anything that is black on him was primed in black. Again, very light primer before the airbrush happens. So yeah, that's Metro Dash. Still has all of the, I guess, like issues or whatever that the Rodimus Prime or Rodimus Combiner Wars Rodimus figure had. Which is none, because it was a fantastic figure, and like I said, I loved how this came out. And also, the inspiration for Rodimus here, I want to talk about this, my inspiration for him came from Jin Satama. If you guys don't know this guy, that guy did a Metroplex, custom Metroplex with a 6-inch slammer that was done out of a Titan's Return hot rod. And that's where the inspiration for this version of Metro Dash came from, because I wanted something that was in the same scale as Metroplex's Slammer, or not Slammer, as Scamper. So I wanted something in the same scale as Metroplex's Scamper, but I didn't want to spend $150 on Metroplex's Scamper off eBay. So I had this guy actually lying around. He was an older custom that I did that was a G2 figure or G2 character, and I stripped the paint off of him completely and made him into Metro Dash. And again, Jin Satama, thank you for that inspiration, because I don't think I would have thought about that. I would probably still be sitting here thinking of how to do a Metro Dash, to be honest with you. So yeah, love how he came out. He's my favorite out of all the ones that how they came out. Now, we will go into Metro Shot here next. This guy, complete red repaint, head to toe, fully dismantled, fully taken apart. You guys know this by now. Now, the original figure, I don't know if you guys can see that, but his visor is red. The original figure just had an all-white face. I didn't like that. I thought that was kind of lame, you know. But I decided to change it up a little bit and make the faceplate black, the eyes red, and keep the head white. Again, these guys are all fully transformable, and turn him around, and I painted the gun part of him black as well. That's kind of an artist interpretation. I tried to mimic 6-gun as best as I could, while also staying true to the original Metrotitan or Metro Squad designs for these guys. It is a repro label on the chest plates right there, and as you guys can see, the holes and the pegs and stuff are not painted, so they can keep their original functionality without any kind of extra or any kind of hindrance placed upon them at all whatsoever. This, I will say this is where this entire custom, all of this really started coming together for me, was with 6-gun, or 6-shot, or not the Metro Shot, jeez. This is, when I finished him, this is where I really started to get hyped up for everything that was coming down the pipeline. I could really see the finish line with him when he was done, and I started to get really, really excited about the outcome of everything. And colors that I used for him. So again, everything that I primed him once again. So anything that's white and blue was primed with white. Anything that is black obviously was primed in black. And then the black was airbrushed with the Warhammer's black there. And the blue actually took me a while to find. Something that I was really, really happy with, was really difficult for me to come across. And then I, just on a whim, took a chance and got this. This was a airbrush paint, so you don't have to thin this down when you run it through the airbrush. And this is a Sapphire Gem. And that's the color that you see there. That's the blue, is that Sapphire Gem. And the white that's on him is the same color as the primer. It is a matte white, just a straight matte white. That's it. And again, it's just airbrushed over. There is roughly about 6 layers of white on this guy just to make sure that the red does not show through. White and yellow are always the most difficult colors to paint. And then his visor, once again, was done in pure red. So from Metro Shots, we'll move over to Metro Tank. And this guy, I think, came out really, really good. Now, like I said, this is an artist interpretation because Slammer or Metro Tank never transformed. He was just a blue tank. And I really wanted to keep that in the design here while keeping aspects of the new Slammer that came out for Kingdom. So everything that you see here that is silver and this little white strip of white, or this like off-white gray underneath his arms, is the factory color from Slammer. I wanted to keep those because, like I said, I wanted to keep aspects of Slammer in Metro Tank here. The gray down here is gray plastic. Again, the thighs are still the factory standard black plastic. But yeah, like I said, I'll say it one more time. I wanted to keep aspects of Slammer in Metro Tank here. And so, but what I did was I transformed him first into tank mode and kind of looked and compared pictures and whatnot with him and how the tank would transform. And to keep an all-blue tank, everything that you see here would have to be blue. So that's what I did. And the artist's interpretation comes in from where I put the black. So the black shoulders, the black crotch area, that's all painted black, and the black fist. Again, I left the white alone right there so it can still retain full functionality of the entire gimmick. And then I kept these, I guess like missile pod tank treads, whatever these would be. I kept those black. These are actually painted from factory, and they are a separate piece, so they just pop straight off. And yeah, that's what I did for Metro Tank. Now I gave him a black faceplate and a red visor because I really wanted to keep this team look, you know, with the rest of the guys that are named Metro, right? Like, so if they have Metro in their name, I really, really, really wanted to keep them kind of tied together. So that's why I went with the black in certain places and stuff. That's why Metro Dash is the reason why I gave them red eyes, and because they are the deluxe class figures, so they're the bigger robots, I gave them both a black faceplate, almost as if like they're the tag team of the Metro Squad, right? Like these two are the guys that you don't want to mess with, especially him, because in the lore, if you guys don't know, Metro Shot is the one that killed Galaxy Shuttle. So I really, really wanted them to look like a tag team and just like two major badasses that you wouldn't want to mess with. So I set him off back to the side and go over paints here that for Metro Tank that I use. Now, again, everything that you see was primed in white. all the blue and all the red was primed in white. Again, really thin layers of primer, almost dusting it on. And then the white was airbrushed, or sorry, the blue was airbrushed with the sapphire gem. The red for the face visor and stuff was the pure red, and the black right there on the shoulders and the faceplate and the crotch area is once again the matte black. And once again, anything that was black in color was primed in black. So again, a very light dusting of the primer here just to get it to stick. The thinner the primer, the better, because you still want these guys to transform. So that's a Metro tank right there. So let's dive into Metrotitan himself. Alright, so we're going to start at the bottom of Metrotitan here. Again, the feet are painted in the sapphire gem blue, and the missile pods here are painted with the matte black. The matte black is done with a brush here, and it's just thinned down just to, so I wouldn't get brush strokes and stuff in the paint. And very, very easy thing to do. Now, I left the thighs the original factory gray from Metroplex because Metrotitan is supposed to have gray shins. And then back here, I completely stripped the entire, all the white right there that was on Metroplex, because the back of Metrotitan's legs are black. Now, I know there is some blue up front. There's a lot of coloring on his legs on the original toy, but I really wanted to stick with the black to kind of match the center torso of Metrotitan, and you'll see what I'm talking about when we get there. I did paint these pieces right here on the side of his legs black as well. They kind of flow with the entire motif of the thigh and the leg and everything. I did paint the kneecaps that sapphire gem blue, and I did keep the inside of them white. I thought that would be like a really like a nice little contrast for the entire figure, especially since he does have some white in some places still. Actually, a good majority of them is still white. So I thought, you know, again, it would be a nice little contrast on the shins. Not a whole lot going on the inside of the legs at all whatsoever. The guy was completely stickered up with the original factory stickers, and I decided to take those off completely for paint and everything else. Now we get up to the center body and everything of Metrotitan here. He is a big boy, so getting him to fit into frame might be a little difficult. So the entire middle section here is painted black. I did go with a slightly different or slightly thicker primer. It's the same primer, but I mean a slightly thicker coat of primer. Still dusting it on. There's about 2 dust layers on him, and then completely airbrushed with this matte black. Now, this is the same color. This primer is the same color as the actual paint. That's why I prime it in the black and then paint it in the black. So that way the paint is still thin and it still looks factory. The top 2 pieces and the head here are painted in the same shade as red, the pure red that Metro Dash is painted in. The sticker here is a Repro label, Decepticon logo, and then these center pieces right here again are brushed on with a brush and thinned out matte black. When I thin this paint out, I usually do a 1-to-1 or a 2-to-1 depending on what I'm trying to accomplish here. This up here was a 1-to-1, so it was 1 drop of paint and then 1 drop of water to thin it out. Same thing I did on the feet, where the feet are black. Up here on the faceplate, however, I did a 2-to-1 thin down of the black when I brushed on the face right there, these little black sections on the helmet. It does give it a thicker coat, and doing it that way does give it a thicker coat, and it does eliminate brush strokes. The center jewel here is not the factory jewel. It is a recast of the original red jewel that Metroplex had, and that's what I did. I just simply recasted it and then airbrushed it with a thin coat of a pearlized blue from Wicked Colors and Create Text. I love this shade of blue. It's a fantastic shade of blue. And inside of him, I ran some new LEDs, some blue LEDs. That's why I wanted to recast it into that blue jewel. And also, it is an homage to the KO figure that came out in the early thousands that had just a random jewel in his chest. It was almost like an aqua green color. But I kind of thought that was a really important piece of Metrotitan history, so I wanted to include that. The base here, right here, again, is painted in that same red. The section behind it is painted in a pearl silver, as you guys can see right there. And it's painted with the Wicked Colors Create Text silver here. And the original figure, the reason why I did the silver is because the original figure's piece back there was chrome. The head is the Unique Toys upgrade head, and it does have full range of motion, can go up and down and look around, everything else. The eyes are painted a different shade of blue. It's a light blue. It's called Viking blue. I know on camera it doesn't look like there's much of a difference, but there is a big, big difference between the blues. Like I said, it is a brighter shade of blue. Because the original toy had like really bright baby blue eyes, and I thought that was really, really neat. A little mini Devastator here came from the Mech Toys add-on kit for their Dystopia and Utopia figure. You guys, if you want these little minifigures, they are on BBTS. The entire pack runs you, I think it was like 12 bucks or 15 bucks after shipping. And I absolutely think these are super cool because it gives a huge amount of scale to Metroplex and Metrotitan. The shoulder over here is the factory gray color. And then the yellow is an airbrush as well. Now, originally, I covered it with this bright yellow, and then I went over it with this demonic yellow right here from Warhammer as well. And yeah, so that's the yellow. The original figure had caution stripes, and I originally wanted to do the caution stripes, but when I did them on this figure, I thought it looked a little too hokey. And so I went ahead and did the bottom sections yellow instead of having the caution stripes. And the main reason why I thought it looked hokey is because the entire design of the shoulder section here is the way it's done. You know, it's not just a flat square, you know? So I didn't think that it looked right with the caution stripes in there. So the hands are the factory hands from Brave Max. I have the DNA upgrade kit for that figure and decided just to give the hands to Metrotitan here. I did not paint the hands at all whatsoever. They are a shade, about a shade darker than the pure red, but they're far enough away that you really can't tell the difference. So that's why I didn't paint them. I was going to, but when I saw that there really wasn't much of a difference, I decided not to. The tower guns here are black in color, because just like Metroplex, his guns here on the side, they're supposed to be 6 shots, or six guns. So in this case, these would be Metro shots, guns, or arms, and so I left these black. I decided to keep these black on the inside here, the ones that raise up and down, because I didn't want to paint them white, and then if I ever raised them up, they have these giant paint scratches and everything all over them. I thought that would look terrible. So that's why I left them black. Now, the gun did not come with the missile. So what I did was I added an LED, a pink LED in there, right there. And the switch over here is right here on the side of the gun. It runs off of a CR32 battery. And the gun, let me just unpeg it real quick. The gun is right there. Painted the top center, the top section completely black. I left the handle red, so that way, you know, when he's holding it, you're not really going to be able to tell. And again, to help avoid any kind of paint rub. The switch is right here. The switch does lay flush with the body. That's why you guys saw me grab some tweezers and pull it back and then to turn it on. Yeah, I thought pink would be really cool of an LED color because, you know, Energon. But when I think of like a rail gun, I always kind of think of like an giant energy blast. And I don't know, pink is like my favorite color energy, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, the inside of him right here has a blue LED as well. I'm going to get resituated, turn him around, and show you guys that. Alright, so here we are on the back side of him, and there's the switch right there. There is a CR32 2032 battery in there. The wires ran to the factory location right behind the jewel, and get tweezers in there, and you just flip the switch just like that, and you got the jewel in the front completely lit up. Now, I want to say this, the camera is making the LEDs a lot brighter than what they are. I did run a resistor with the LED to tone it down. So in real life, that does not look as bright. I did take out the original electronics from this guy to run the LED and everything. The reason why I did that was because Metrotitan is not Metroplex. So to me, it just didn't make sense to have the electronics in there. Now, before anybody says, but input is not Metroplex without the sound effects. I totally get where you're coming from with that. And that's why I'm also working on this for Metrotitan. So alright guys, man, we're in the home stretch. I promise. If you've stayed and made it this far, I appreciate it. I'm going to go over paints now. So you guys, if you want to, you guys can make this at home, do whatever, you know, feel free. So, again, these guys down here used a Sapphire Gem airbrush, the Army Black, the Army Matte Black, the Army Matte White, and Pure Red from Warpaint as well, and primer, and black primer, and a white primer. Yeah, that's all for this guys, for these guys down here. Get them out of the way real quick. And for the big guy upstairs, he used, Metrotitan himself used these, used a bright yellow as a base for the shoulders, used a demonic yellow for the final yellow on the shoulders, used a Viking blue for the eyes, used a pearlized blue for his center jewel chest piece, used a silver for the missile pod that's hidden on the right side of his chest on the bottom side, and then used a white primer, a black primer, and everybody here was clear coated with the Army Painter matte varnish. Also, again, the center jewel is recast using a silicone mold that I just poured into some old Tupperware and made a new jewel for. So yeah, really, this is really easy to do. It's really, really simple. But yeah, that's what it all entails for my Metrotitan. As always, guys, I will see you guys in the next video, next whatever it is, I see you. I hope you enjoyed this one. I enjoyed doing this. This custom was an absolute blast for me to make. I mean, Hasbro won't do one. I don't see one coming down the pipeline. And I know I say this, and people are gonna, you know, like roll their eyes and be like, well, why didn't you just buy that one? Probably would have cost you the same amount. But the Make Toys Dystopia is really expensive as well. And I really wanted to test myself with this custom, and I think he came out just splendidly. So yeah, guys, I will see you guys when I see you next video, next live stream, next whatever. And as always, stay true to yourself, stay true to each other, be kind to yourself, be kind to each other, all that awesome good stuff. And as always, cut it out. Later.